guys? Welcome back to the channel. Tommy the Hammer here, hanging out with Bee Cee and Olivia. It is going to be a double feature night. Later on, Johnny Rocket's going to be popping in with movie number 2. But for the moment, right now, we're going to be watching movie number 1.
If anyone knows Tsukamoto, they know that he hasn't done a lot of studio projects. So that's half the appeal of this. But Third Window Films, who always does an excellent job restoring and bringing great Asian films to the West, has awesomely got the rights to Hiruko The Goblin, which I think is a movie most Tsukamoto fans like us have been wanting to see.
Yep.
All I really know about it is that it's supposed to have crazy practical effects, maybe be a little bit funnier and wackier, well not wackier, but funnier and a little bit more palatable than Tsukamoto's usual stuff. But I imagine that a studio project from him isn't like most other studio projects.
Now, Olivia, have you seen Tetsuo the Iron Man?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
she
saw
knows
it
what to
in
expect.
theaters, so.
Oh my God, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. And
Yes.
she's also seen Vital, which
Yeah.
we all liked Vital.
But that's two ends of the spectrum for this director, to be perfectly honest, in terms of his films. So.
And this seems in between those two somehow.
Well, you guys know this routine. Check out the trailer. Peep that shit, guys. When we get back, you can know our opinions on the movie. Stick around.
やべえ本当に学校に5分なんかあんのかよ少なくとも親父はそう信じ込んでたからな
私の住む土地からこれまでの定説を全く覆してしまう古墳が見つかったのだ
こっちはヒルコこの地方に伝わる伝説の化け物
危険なんだよ
心配しなくていいから俺が助けてあげるから
Okay, Hiruko the Goblin. What a weird motherfucking movie, Bee Cee. Goddamn. You know, I think this movie kind of defied my expectations in the sole fact that it really comes at things from such a different angle. You have got this hard drama aspect to these characters, but then you've also got this batshit crazy midnight movie execution to the monsters, and then the movie kind of goes deep in a weird spiritual way that I can't even explain. Like, what the fuck was actually happening with this movie?
I don't particularly enjoy horror movies because I get easily scared. Like the jump scares, I screamed at one point because I was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that.
It was good.
But it was great.
Yeah.
But even though this is a horror movie, I still it was also like, in the moment you're like, this kind of feels like something you're like imagining when you're high, but I was like, I'm sober and I feel like I'm high because I'm like, whoa, what is happening? Like, you're like, okay, what's going on?
It is like a weird drug trip, right?
Yeah.
I'm a huge Shinya Tsukamoto fan, and I had seen almost all of his movies up to this point, and Hiruko The Goblin was the one that like I wasn't able to watch in a good way. There's no good release of it, anything like that.
Right.
So this came out this year, it's a Blu-ray, I had to get it. It turns out it's a lot of fun. He didn't sacrifice like any style or anything like that. And in terms of like the gross factor, I think he did pretty well with what you can do within a commercial movie. it exceeded my expectations.
Bloody.
Yeah, it's bloody, it's gnarly. So overall, it's everything you could want from this type of movie. It's like go to the movie theater with your friends or have like a late night type thing. This is what you want.
I gotta say, this movie is a lot of fun. Perfect for those midnight movie parties with you and your friends. You're having some drinks, you're looking for something a little weird. With all that being said, for me, I'm gonna give this movie, I'm going with a 7.
I'd actually give it a 7 as well.
Oh.
I'm gonna ride a little bit higher with this.
Okay.
With my rating. I don't know if I just had particularly low expectations, and that's not because I thought like Tsukamoto would make a bad movie. It's more just like he has so many really good movies with this kind of like live up to those. You know, he has a high bar, and so I had maybe low expectations, but I thought it was really fun. Like if this was a movie theater movie when I was a teenager, I would have been all over this because it's gross, it's weird, it doesn't always make sense, it's funny.
It is.
But then it's kind of art housey in some weird ways. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
On to numero 2 of our double feature. It is Johnny Rocket's pick, and he is finally here. Johnny,
I'm here.
What are we watching tonight?
We are going to switch gears slightly, and we're going with one of my favorite little comedies from the 80s, Short Circuits. That's right, a fun little fish out of water comedy caper. And, I mean, how could you not love a wisecracking, slapsticking robots? And, I mean, it was just, this movie, you know, enraptured me as a kid. Like, oh my god, I want my own, you know, talking, wisecracking robot that has a laser in it, you know?
Yeah. Check out the trailer, motherfuckers. Peep that shit. We'll be right back.
It's the ultimate soldier. It doesn't get happy, it doesn't get sad, it doesn't laugh at your jokes.
It is quite simply the most sophisticated robot on Earth.
At Nova Robotics, the future is in good hands.
You're doing real good. Just keep working on those last 2 bars.
Thanks to Dr. Newton Crosby.
Originally, I designed it as a marital aid.
But artificial intelligence has gotten too smart.
It's malfunctioning. It might not do anything. But it could decide to blow away anything that moves, couldn't it?
Because $11 million worth of robot just hit the road. Number 5 is alive.
Welcome to my planet.
We just have to find number 5, get some answers.
Why don't you come on in my house?
And it's got a lot of living to do.
Whatever it takes to put that stupid contraption out of commission, that's what you do.
More input. More input.
They can seem quite lifelike, but they are still machines.
Number 5 is alive. Nice software. How it happens, who knows, but it has happened.
From the director of War Games.
They're gonna be after you. We gotta get out of here now. Hey, he's alive!
Ali Sheedy, Steve Gutenberg, and number 5, Short Circuit.
Short Circuit from back in the day, definitely a product of its times. This is just kind of a goofball comedy from the mid-1980s. This movie definitely spins its wheels, to say the very least. Most of it is, spent with this robot and this chick and their follies as they try to avoid this kind of shadowy government agency that has built these robots for war, something of that nature. I don't know. They don't really give it a lot of backstory because it really doesn't matter. Back in the day, you were seeing this movie for the fucking robot. And that's it. That's all this movie has to offer. Acting-wise, everyone's pretty one note because they're just trying to get this story out there. This is definitely a pop culture throwaway flick if I've ever seen one. So I liked it, but it's also a terrible movie.
I have no attachment to this movie, but I thought it was great. I loved it. It was hilarious. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I was looking around and everyone was kind of just like, I'm gonna need another beer for this, and I was like, I don't need any more, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a great movie. I'm interested in seeing number 2.
Okay. Bee Cee?
This was a lot. we went places that I didn't know we were gonna go, and then just this grating robot this whole time. Input. Shut up.
The disrespect.
It just wouldn't stop. And then this girl like loves him, but why? Just like, I'm not dying for this robot. You just
What's
met.
not to love?
They just met. It's just not worth it. I don't know. I have so many questions, and I'm never gonna get the answers. That's short circuit for me.
Well, I think that short-circuited Bee Cee. Nice pick there, Johnny Rocket.
Yeah, right.
You've malfunctioned the boy.
I had no idea that I would short circuit Bee Cee with this one, but here we are.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's been a long time since I saw this, and I mean, me being an old fogey at this point, I've got, you know, great memories of watching this as a kid and being like, yeah, wouldn't that be so cool if this crazy runaway robot, you know, came to my house? That would have been so cool. And like, I have these great memories of this movie, and like watching it again, it's like, man, this really does like suck. Like, this movie is like pretty terrible. Like, it really is. Like, it's like the dumbest premise, and like it barely sets up any kind of story. And like, of course, you know, you see all the trailers for it, and you're like, oh sweet, you know, zany robot on the loose, you know, and so of course that's, yeah, you're watching it for this robot, and then when you actually watch the entire movie, you're like, that was not that good. It really wasn't. Like, it's oh man. I gotta say one final thing here that we discovered looking up the actors and the cast of this movie afterwards, that Fisher Stevens is not Indian, and they painted him brown and had him play an Indian guy with a terrible broken Indian accent and have him like misquote, like, you know, phrases, you know, little turns of phrase, and it was like, I mean, you know, when we were watching it, it was like, you know, kind of funny here and there and whatnot, and then once that realization hit, like, wait a minute, that guy actually isn't Indian. Like, we totally just watched somebody in brown face for this entire movie. Like, it really kind of soured me to that. I was like, wow, this is really a thing even in the 80s.
Oh, of course.
We actually did this. Like, wow, it's like even during my own lifetime, like, this was a thing.
Yep. Today, 2022, I'm going with a 4, and that is based on a lot of nostalgia.
As I said before, this was my first time watching, so you guys have like that emotional attachment that you watched as a kid, so watching it now honestly isn't as good. But since this is my first time watching it, I feel like, I don't know, I had that feeling. Well, I love like 80s movies, so then watching it and it's kind of just like goofy, kind of stupid, like the comments are kind of funny, and then you're just like, you're also laughing because it's so stupid. But I enjoyed it in that way, but I know if I watched it again, I probably wouldn't have the same opinion. And I'd be like, okay, it was good the first time, but the second time, like, you don't need to watch it again because then it just ruins it for you. But with that aside, I feel like I would give it a 6 just because it's my first viewing, and I don't know, it just was kind of goofy, stupid. That was enjoyable.
Gave you some laughs. You're telling me you would not like to be a pepper?
Correct.
That's completely fair. I honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 5.
Oh.
And a lot of that,
Johnny
like Tom say, yeah, 5 for Johnny 5. All right. Like Tom said, that's at least 2 nostalgia stars, honestly. Because yeah, like, upon another viewing, it's like, yeah, this is a pretty decent pile of crap. But I mean, growing up watching it as a kid, of course, it was great. It was awesome. You had enough stuff blowing up and a chase and a funny, quirky robot. It was fun back then. It's kind of not aged well at all. But
I mean, when I think about like 80s movies that were aimed at kids that had a good story, you think of like Flight of the Navigator, which is like dark and interesting, and then you've got the goofball elements. This movie doesn't have any of that.
Just the Wall-E for our generation.
Yeah. Well, guys, that is our double feature, ending it on Short Circuit. Talk about a weird mismatched pair of films to watch crammed all into one evening. I hope it's been informative, guys. Until the next time, tune in to Neon Trail.